Hello from Buenos Aires. It's Monday. It's the 1/8 Buggy Off-Road Worlds. Today has brought us flooding. Yet behind me there is now a dust storm. Hell, we've even had a plague of frogs. Pretty much business as usual.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, perhaps not a plague of frogs, but there were definitely some frogs. RC Racing is delighted to be covering another Worlds for Near Buggy. So, Phil, Speed Paradise is the name of the facility we're in today. Paradise, possibly not a word that's been used that many times today.
No, the atmosphere is a little bit subdued compared to previous Worlds I've been to. It's got a bit of a club race feel to it, but the track's pretty good nonetheless. It's a high-speed track. The racing's still going to be awesome.
And before we get chased off the track by the people who are covering it, we'll talk about that soon, let's take a look at Monday. Well, there were just two familiar faces battling on track first thing this morning, joining in the plight of man versus puddle.
Wanting to get the track running, you know, there was only two guys on the track. I just wanted to give them a hand, try and get the race meeting going. But yeah, I had a few little secret looks at the track.
I'm just waiting. I'm almost desperate because I've spent all this money to travel here to just sit around, you know? So I'm really worried about the weather for the rest of the week.
Does any of this wet weather give you any kind of advantage? I mean, you're used to rain, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, the Brits, we always do well in the rain. We always race in it because it was always raining. Yeah. But yeah, we have like a few little secret tips, maybe you could say. I guess we just know how to drive in the wet.
Is the car any good in the wet?
I think I don't enjoy racing in the mud, but I tend to do pretty well.
Yeah.
So mud racing is okay for me.
While the race against boredom continued in the pits, eventually the sawdust and quicksand was deemed ready for the first round of timed practice. And actually the track was a little quicker than expected. And Tyler Vick was one of the first victims out on track.
I just raised the car up to try to get around the track. I knew it was going to be 3 pounds full of mud. So, no, there's not a lot you could learn out there either.
Well, 2 years certainly makes a big difference. This is very different to Pattaya, obviously. A lot of situations have changed for drivers as well. I spoke to Elliot Boots and Renault Savoia.
Working with Mugen for so many years was great. I had the Durango experience. I learned a lot from this experience, and now with X-Ray.
How long were you a Durango driver for? A couple of months?
Probably 6 months. But still, I learned a lot, maybe more than 6 years with Mugen, because, yeah, you learn from, like, you start from zero and then you're in full confidence and you go back to standards, you go back to regional races and everything, so it really decreases everything and you start to increase your confidence from zero. Yeah. So I'm really happy with the work we are doing with U-High and all the X-Ray team.
In the last 2 years since Pattaya, your name is mentioned with more and more kind of seriousness with regards to taking you seriously as a racer. Is that to do with some changes you've made in terms of manufacture in your own personal package or just practice, gaining experience?
Yeah, I mean, I changed teams. I'm with Kyosho, aka Nova Rossi now. And it's a great package for me. It suits my driving style. Had a lot of good results. I've just been practicing. You know, every time you've got a transmitter in your hand, you're always going to get better.
You put a lot of that with Elliot down to experience, or just also a run of good luck, maybe?
Yeah, maybe not so much good luck. He's matured this year, definitely. He's always had the speed and the potential. Maybe not the car is never really held in one piece, but now it seems to be holding. Everything's working. He's got a good team behind him, and, you know, it's bearing the fruits now.
What about the other young guns like Ronafalk and Jorn Newman? Same story for them. Where are they today?
Ronafalk's maturing, you know, he's still 16, so he's got a fabulous career ahead of him. Neumann, I think he's struggling a little bit with the package. He's not quite on form. From Pattaya, you know, last time Carl McBride, he's got, you know, he's going fast here, for sure.
2 years ago, it was pretty awesome. I've got a new car now, and I really like the Kyosho. So hopefully I can make the final and maybe do it again this year.
Your first Worlds, you make the podium. So yeah, I mean, does it give you a lot of pressure?
Not really. I mean, last year I wasn't really, I didn't find any pressure. I just went there to drive. It was my first Worlds. So if I keep that mindset again this time, and I should be right.
Another young gun, third fastest at the end of the day, is Dakota Fend.
I just went out there and tried to make as few mistakes as possible and no crashes. I mean, sometimes the track, there was like one Marshall on half the track and that was it. So I just had a few bobbles, but no crashes. So I was really happy about that. I'm driving hard, but I can drive harder if I need to, but I just working on no mistakes and just getting around the track.
How do you think you're going to approach the next couple of days with all the uncertainty with the weather and stuff?
Just open-minded. I mean, if it rains, everyone has to deal with the rain, and if it doesn't, then it doesn't, so.
Well, Dakota's laid-back attitude is to be commended, of course, whilst there's a range of outlooks brewing in the pits.
You're saying 90, 100% chance, 2 inches of rain. I guess there's a floodgate that's going to open.
Just trying to make the best of what we have, and right now the weather's great, so.
I've seen pictures of this place, and it could reach a stage where we can't race anymore.
I walked the track over here this morning, and it's like all the awnings are missing. It's like a small tornado must have come through.
There's not a lot of happiness out here, but
It's not really racing, it's more like surviving at that stage.
Well, there certainly are some pessimists and optimists, and some people that just take it as it comes. Do you think the drivers are changing their approach a lot with the uncertainty that is in the next few days?
I think some of the older drivers with wiser heads, definitely. Like I spoke to Hara and he said, yeah, he has a strategy in mind if there's rain. His mechanic Mira has been prepping his car a lot, with Vaseline, trying to make sure it's watertight. Some of the younger guns, I think they're just going to take it as it comes. They're relying more on raw talent. But I think in terms of optimist and pessimist, I think you need to be realistic at the end of the day.
Realistically, the tyres make a big difference, don't they, on an ever-changing surface?
Yeah, we've seen some of the craziest things, like the AKA Moto tyre has been fantastic. No one expected it to be like, a top performing race tyre.
You say about AKA, I spoke to Mark Pavidis earlier on. Interestingly, I mean, he's a world champion from 3 events ago. 3 events ago. He's already written himself off. He's not here competing for the Worlds. He's actually a guinea pig on wheels. He goes out there, tests tyres, and then shares the information with the team.
my days of being to perform at the top of where these guys are at are over, and I'm fine with that. I've kind of accepted that. So I'm really using my time on the track to help out all of the guys that are running our tires. If they have any questions, is this tire too soft? Is it too hard? So I'm able to hey, let me try that, and I can give you some information back.
Well, the day saw out 2 rounds of time practice, the last 5 minutes of each heat being timed to seed drivers into qualifying groups.
Yeah, the reseeding can change the race, actually. That's why it's important, because if you are in a good run, you can have fastest guy, which are gonna pull you up, or if you are in a bad round, they can crash you, or it's gonna change everything, and that's why it's important, and it's gonna be a bit lottery, because we don't know how the track will handle.
By close of business today, one man was out on top. You're being described by people as, the word is light years faster than everybody else. What's going on?
I don't know really. I guess the setup on the car is working for me, and the track suits my style of driving. Just going out doing what I do normally and just getting the results, I guess.
You were fastest after the first round, and you've obviously continued to be fastest. Was there much of a change in between?
All I did was change tyres.
I understand that you would have gone even faster, but you had a coming together in that second round, did you not, with a back marker?
Yeah, I mean, I had a spin around myself, but back marker cost me, I think I was on for a 14, so I ended up on a 17, because, he sent me out wide. I don't know why. Oh, well, never mind.
The final stages of what we hope will be a watertight plan for tomorrow from the organisers to keep the show on the road for tomorrow. Just so we're wrapping up, any final thoughts going into tomorrow?
I mean, we can only hope it doesn't rain too much. We've struggled with that over the past couple of days. The track's been fantastic. I think it's actually benefited a little bit from that dampness. So, I just hope the show improves, that's all.
Well, I'm sure it will. Stay tuned. That was our roundup of Monday. Be nice to see you on Tuesday on neobuggy.net.
1, 2, 3, 4.